Hello again, and thanks for joining me on another review during this 70s marathon. And again, we're looking at a film that looks at the relationships between women, and it is Three Women from Robert Altman. This is a 1977 film starring Shelley Duvall and Sissy Spacek, and to describe the plot is quite a challenge because this is a film that doesn't so much have a plot. It has a general idea and a progression, but really this film doesn't have a traditional sense of a act structure, nor does it really have a character arc. I mean, it does have character development, but it's not about a character achieving one thing and then going to the end. In fact, it's a very disjointed kind of structure, and the film just floats like a dream. And this really is a dream-like film. It's something special. I mean, I first saw this maybe 2 years ago, and I decided I knew straight away I wanted to see it again, to get a better grips of it. And I definitely enjoyed it the second time round much more. And it's just the way the film is done visually is just so unique and gritty and 70s, and I think this is my favourite Altman film so far. I think his films I'm starting to appreciate a bit more now as time's going on, and this is definitely up there with McCabe and Miss Miller, for instance. That's probably my second favourite. But the way this film is shot is very interesting, and again, like other Altman films, we get the use of long lenses, and the effect of that for us is, especially with this film, it gives a very voyeuristic kind of appearance to the film, and you're constantly often the perspective is you just looking in at what's happening between these characters. And overall, the use of colour is very interesting too. The film is known for the art painting that you see here. It's known for that artwork that appears frequently in the film, and it's got a very it's every time I see the first time I watched it, I was thinking, very primal. I felt like showing the artwork gave a very primal idea of relationships. And of course, what thing that comes to mind for what this film is really about between these characters, people think of Persona from Ingmar Bergman, which came out in the 60s, and the film has so many similarities, but altogether this film really stands on its own. And Robert Altman said that the inspiration came from a dream, not all of it, but there was something in his dream that definitely went into this, and reason behind writing this very strange and wonderful story. And I realised I didn't really talk much about the plot, so basically we have the Shelley Duvall character who plays Millie, and she works at a hydrotherapy place. I think you can call it that, a place that hydrotherapy is done for elderly people and whatnot. And then a new employee comes. She is very young. I'm thinking between 16 and 19. Her name is Pinky. That's her nickname. Her real name's Millie. She doesn't like that name. So yeah, already when you see those two characters are called Millie. And they end up becoming friends and then eventually living together. And from there stems a friendship. And I don't even know what you would describe it as. It's hard to say without spoiling the film for everyone, but overall, like, Three Women is such an elaborate film. There's a lot of emotional complexity going on, and it really is a comment on identity, and how your identity can change through people. I mean, I think the character in this is one of the most fascinating female characters we've ever seen. Shelley Duvall is absolutely brilliant in this film. I think some people think she can't act at all. People like The Shining and they hate her. And for me, I think she's really grown on me. I actually really like Shelley Duvall as an actor and a character now. But the Three Women is probably her best performance for sure. And in terms of what her character says about identity is, she never seems to really have her own identity. She clings on to a lot of things that she reads in magazines, and things she sees on posters and in advertisements and television. That's what creates her own identity. She's constantly talking about things she's read and things that she sees and emulates, and it's very clever for its time. It's getting into those ideas of postmodernism and being taken over by what you could say is just general commodities, and how they would start to define you as a person, things and objects, rather than what's really inside. And I think for that, it's a very interesting viewing. Another thing that I absolutely loved in the film was the music. It was very, very dark. Gosh, it's hard to describe. It's very dreamlike, almost scary. It turns this film into like a horror film, I feel, at times. It's very brooding, soft pads in the background, but then it's very brash. You can hear it, and it really sets the tone for what's happening in the film. And overall, Three Women is just a very... I'd love to say more, but I feel like, I just can't find the words to really describe this one. Three Women is a wonderful, wonderful film. And this is a great release. This is a 4K restoration. It's an Arrow Academy release. A bit like the last Blu-ray I just reviewed. Let's see here. We've got subtitles. Always essential. And yes, there's a little interview in here with Shelley Duvall. And what an eye-opener that was, because I didn't realise the work style. Because Altman actually let Shelley Duvall write many of the scenes. So really, Shelley Duvall created that character in a way. And it's amazing to think Altman gave her such artistic freedom. And also we looked at how Shelley Duvall even became an actress. It's absolutely incredible. The story goes that she was a waitress. She was only 20 years old. Just 20. She must be about 27 in this film maybe. But she was 20 years old. And she had no intentions of becoming an actress. And one day Robert Altman and a bunch of other film people were in the diner that she worked at. And then she came over and was trying to sell her paintings, her boyfriend's paintings. She used to do that all the time to try and, see if anyone would be interested in buying them. And then Robert Altman or someone in the group said, come to this place tomorrow. And then she went to the place to sell the paintings. And then Altman turned around and said, do you want to be an actress? And from there, her career began. And this is like the third or fourth film that Altman and Duvall have done. And together they made something like 7 or 8 movies, maybe 10. So yeah, what a fascinating story. These things happen all the time. That is absolutely fascinating. And she didn't really do much acting later on in her career. She retired quite early, but I think Three Women shows how great she can be as an actress. And it also features her talking at Cannes. She accepted her award at Cannes for Best Actress, and yeah, definitely deserving of that. There's also a 30-minute documentary from a critic talking about the film, how it was made and what it meant. And that was very interesting. It was very eye-opening to getting a better grip on the film. And overall, this is a fantastic release. There's also a booklet inside. I love this. Absolutely love this artwork. Oh, and another great thing is this is another Arrow release that has a double-sided cover. So you could flip it around if you wish. As you can see there, inside you can see there's another artwork, so you can flip the DVD art around. I just think that's great. And I haven't read the booklet yet, but I think it has essays, just general essays about interpretation of the film. Love the artwork. Yeah, pretty much. But like Masters of Cinema booklets. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you check out this film. It's another fantastic film from the 70s, one of my favourites. And overall, it's just a very elaborate film. Go into this with an open mind and just let it wash over you. Well, that's it for this time, everybody. Keep staying tuned for this marathon, and I'll see you next time.